Okay, great. I hope you can hear me, right?
Yes, we still can.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So you started Power BI already, and Power BI is a business intelligence tool for data analysis. And you were told that it's the most used business intelligence software. I mean, 97% of the Fortune 500 uses Power BI. One other thing I would like to mention, I wouldn't know if the tutors mentioned this particularly, is primarily your certification exam as a Microsoft certified Power BI data analyst. The certification exam, what we advise our students to do is to write this exam after at least 3 months of work experience. That is the reason why we have the internship opportunity for you to intern remotely so that you gain work experience, because this exam is not um it's quite technical. I mean, it's objective questions, but it's quite technical. So you need experience to be able to give good answers. And the cutoff mark is 700 over 1000. That's about 70%. So for you to pass the exam, it's 70%. You have to score 70%. The other thing is this certification is renewed yearly. So once you start your journey as a data analyst, focusing on using Microsoft Power BI, you have to keep writing this exam every year because technology changes, right? You have to keep writing this exam this every year. So your certification expires yearly. However, you only pay for the first year. So if you're writing this exam in Nigeria, the exam fee is about $80. If you're writing this exam outside Nigeria, it's about $165. But once you pay for it and you pass the first year, the subsequent year you will not have to pay. You just have to rewrite the exam to ascertain, to make Microsoft know that you are still, because a lot of changes happen in the ecosystem, in the ecosystem. One of the fastest growing industry is the data industry. I mean, it's cutting across everything. The backbone of AI is data, and there's nothing AI is able to do without having those data analyzed by analysts. So what it means is there'll be more changes, more improvement to the data analytics ecosystem. So what it means is you have to be up to date every year. And I guess that's the reason why Microsoft make their certification exam an exam that you have to write every year. So However, this training provides you with the resource to be able to write and pass this exam. And one of the reasons why we have the alumni community, once you're done with your 8 weeks of training, you'll join the alumni community. Is part of what we do in the alumni community is to host a periodic exam preparation class. So we want to prepare you ahead for these important exam. Um,
So it's a question.
okay, go ahead, Hacks. Please unmute and ask a
Okay.
question.
He said the certification exam, what you pay the first time. Yeah, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
My mic no working.
I can hear you,
Okay.
Adedayo.
I said for the certification exam, he said once you pay and you pass, you don't have to pay for. He said once you pay and you pass, you don't have to pay for the next times you write the exam.
Yes.
But I want to ask, what if someone doesn't pass?
The next one. Why don't you want? Well, it's a very intelligent question, but I don't see the reason why you don't want to pass the next one now. But basically, usually the next exam,
Just say what if for some reason
yeah,
like that
I get your
below
question.
cutoff mark.
So I get your question. Apparently, I've never thought about that question to find out, but I can. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to check the rules with Microsoft, right? I'm going to check up their rules that if after you pass a certain exam and you now fail it, is there a option for retake? So cool. If there's an option for retake, then that will be good. But if there's no option for retake, it means the person has lost that certification and the person has to pay again to write that certification exam. But let me find out if there is option for retake. As a company, we are currently working on our partnership with Microsoft. So, but I can just apologies. I can just check the PL 300 exam. The exam is called PL 300. So okay, let me do that and get back to the class so that I'll save time. Do you understand me? Do you
Yeah, no
get
problem.
my
Thank you.
response?
Yeah, I heard you. Thank you.
Okay,
This is my network. My mic.
great. So let me get back to I think you worked with a number of data sets and you've covered sorting more and all of that. Then I believe you did drill. Um, Based on what your tutor told me, I was told you stopped at is it maps? Where exactly did you stop, please?
Hello, sir.
Hello, I'm with you.
Hello, sir.
Go ahead. I can hear you.
Sorry, concerning the PL Microsoft Power BI Data Analyst exam.
Yeah.
So I quickly rushed to their site now to find out. So one have the opportunity to retake after failing the first attempt. So
Oh, great.
they say that one can retake the exam the second time after waiting 24 hours.
Okay, then that makes a lot of sense. Thank you for that research.
Then they said that subsequent
Go
and
on.
they said subsequent retake. So if you don't pass on second attempt, so you need to wait 14 days before trying again. That means there is a second chance. And they say maximum retake. So you can take the exam up to 5 times in a year. So if you don't pass within 5 attempts, you have to wait 12 months before trying again.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. So, I believe you guys stopped at making maps with geo data. Is that where you stopped? I need response. Is that where you stopped? I'm expecting feedback. Where did you stop your last class?
Actually, on my own part, actually, I didn't finish the last class with them, so I don't know where exactly they stopped.
Have you checked the recordings?
I've not go through the.
Wow. You're supposed to go through your recording before the next class because the new class is built on the previous class. It will be very difficult
It's
to.
uncommon of me.
You said?
It's uncommon of. It's uncommon of me. It's some family issues that occupied my time. It's
Okay.
uncommon of me.
It's okay. It's okay.
Sorry.
It's fine. Okay, for those who were in the class and finished the class, please give me feedback. Where did you stop? There's a place that your tutor said you stopped, so I wanted to be sure that you're good before I carry on. Success, were you in class?
I think it might have been making maps.
Making maps with geographic data. I go to the lecturer. Making maps with geographic data. I think that's what it's called.
Okay, it's fine. Um, can any of you share your screen? Let me see what you did last week. Babalola, do you want to share your screen? Let me see your screen, please.
Now I'm using my phone. I'm not using my laptop, so I don't have the notes here.
Oh, you're supposed to use your laptop to join the class because when the our approach is to
Yeah,
see.
but the past situation is just
Okay, who joined with his or her laptop? Linda, can you share your screen? Let me see.
Not yet, sir. I'll put on my laptop soon.
Okay, Adepoju, can I see your screen?
Eh.
Good morning, sir. I'm using my phone. We're having light issues in our area, so my system is down.
Oh, sorry about that.
Sir, I'm sir, I'm working with the laptop, but as I told you earlier, I didn't attend the last class fully, so
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
get that.
I don't have anything on my.
Okay, what about success or Mojisola or Latunji Praise? Success,
Morning, sir.
Hello, sir.
Please, my laptop is low, so I'm using my phone.
oh, whoa. Okay, what about that's Mojisola or success?
It's success, sir.
Okay, Mojisola, are you able to share your screen?
Yes, sir. But what happened the last time I did not finish with them. I just completed. I'm unable to complete the class last week, so I'm getting. I just finished the first video for the class yesterday night.
Yeah,
I
okay.
don't know. Maybe I can share my screen. Can see join.
Share it. Let me see what you have. Then Olatuji Praise. I want to hear from you. Mojisola, please go ahead, share your screen. Let me see what you have. Olatuji Praise. I want to hear from you. I can hear you if you're speaking, Olatuji. Mojisola, are you sharing your screen? You're muted, Olatunji.
I'm trying to do that, sir.
Okay, great. Olatunji, I'm waiting for your response. Okay, you have on mute. Go ahead and speak. Is anyone hearing Olatunji? I'm not hearing him at all.
nah, I can't hear.
Okay. It's fine. Now, majority of you in class have issues with electricity and all of that. For me, the way I teach my class, I'm too particular about you getting it than just delivering the lecture. I'm extremely particular about that. And I mean, I've taught online and even offline. I started teaching tech 2012. So that's about, I think, about 12 years ago. Not so long. And currently we have, I think, close to 15,000 students that have gone through any of my trainings. And I'm more concerned about results. I mean, for my trainers, they might want to rush because they have targets. But for me, I could slow down and it will affect anything. So this is what I'm going to do this morning. I'm going to start Power BI all over again. This is not to make you feel you have not learnt, but it's for me to be sure you understand it. So unlike what you did last week, I'm going to be asking questions and I'll be expecting response while I carry out those things on Power BI. Is that understood?
Okay, sir.
Okay, does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm more or less going to reintroduce Power BI again.
Yes.
But you know that will impact on your number of weeks for training. So maybe the class I'm going to have with you guys today might not even be part of your weeks for training. So it might mean that instead of you ending your class in, I think, in about 3 weeks from now, we're going to end in about 4 weeks from now. But I think it's to your advantage because I want to be sure you understand it. And I also understand the challenges most of you have. You don't have your laptop or you have power issues. So if we're able to do this together, and I'm sure from the feedback I'm getting from you, it makes a lot of sense, then I'll be happy that you guys already understand. Because the most important aspect of the Power BI is this introduction. If you understand the introduction, then every other thing it's easy for you, especially if you use the course material. So, what is Power BI? Power BI connects to data, clean and structured data. Now, let me even make it more practical. So, you've been hired by a company, and how many of you have heard the word customer crunch before? My class will be extremely practical because you're going to find yourself working in an organization where you have to solve problems as data analyst. How many of you have heard the word customer crunch before? I'm waiting for response. Customer crunch.
No. I've heard it.
So
No,
this
so far.
the meaning of customer crunch is
I've not heard it.
okay, great. The meaning of customer crunch is the rate at which customers are leaving a business. So I'm going to give an example. In recent time, Globalcom had a drop in their revenue for data. How many of you saw the news? They have a drop in their revenue for data. Why?
Yeah, I saw the news.
Okay, great. So why do they have a drop in their revenue for data? Do you know Globalcom? You can buy data from them 100 naira for a big sum of data, but you find out that you not use it. How many of you had such experience with Glow?
Yes.
Good. So what it means is, if
Yes.
they hire you, Glow
Yes.
hire you and say, come and tell us the reason why
Yes.
customers stop using our data. Right? People are still using their SIMs to call. You know, average Nigeria has more than 2 SIMs. There's a SIM some people use for data and there's a SIM they use for call. I'm making this extremely practical so that you can apply this knowledge to anything. I mean, anything when it comes to analysis. Customer crunch means the rate at which customers are leaving a business. So it's something they call it basket. Let me use this word, basket syndrome. No matter how much you pour water into a basket with hole, what will happen? the water will never get full. I mean, the basket will never get full.
It
So
can
what?
retain.
Huh?
Yeah.
Good.
Yes.
So what it means is,
Yes, you are correct, sir.
if you're acquiring new customers, but you are acquiring new customers, you are losing customers. That is very bad for business. So you've been hired and say, come and tell us the reason why we are losing customers. And as an analyst, you want to look at every areas of the business to be able to come up with, okay, this is the problem you guys have, and these are the possible solutions. And you equally must understand, as analysts, you're not decision makers. You are just to give a critical analysis of the situation. Why the decision maker, which is usually the CEO or the top management, they make decisions based on your analysis. Now, one of such tools that can help you to make business intelligence analysis is Power BI, right? I know your tutor must have talked about that. With Power BI, you can connect to any form of data. So I can connect to web data, I can connect to data from Python, I can connect to data from Excel, from Access, from the web, from the cloud, even from email list, even from SQL. That is how powerful Power BI is. And you can use it to create visualization. What is visualization? Visualization is to show a meaningful report of what you want your audience to understand, and you can equally share your findings. So these are samples of how visualization looks like in Power BI. Then why Power BI? Power BI is the leading tool according to Greater. Then another thing is over 70% of the 4,500 use Power BI. Over 6 million
Hello,
customers.
sir.
Hello.
Sorry, sir. We can't see your screen, sir.
You can see my
Okay, it's just
screen.
coming up now.
Oh, I thought I was sharing.
It's just coming up now.
Okay, let me share again. Please confirm if you can see my screen.
It's off now. It's off.
Okay, I believe everybody can see my screen. Great.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Or
Who else
maybe
is
it's
not
just.
seeing? And I'm sharing the screen.
Now it's showing. It's showing.
Yeah, that's it now. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. So Power BI has a desktop version, which is the one you're using on your computer. They have the service version, which is the cloud version. And so please tell me what you can see on my screen.
Why Power BI?
No, I've left that place. I'm on Power BI interface.
We are seeing why Power BI.
Let me stop sharing and share again. I hope my internet is not the one begin this. Let me know what you can see.
Okay, Power BI interface.
Okay, great. So there are three views in Power BI. You have the report view, which is the first one. See, this is what I'm saying is the most important aspect of this training, right? In Power BI, there are three views. You have the report view, which is where you create your visualization, right? You have this material with you. And the next view is the data view, where you see those data. Just that data view gives you the experience of Excel, where you see tables and column. I mean, rows and column on a table. Then the next view is the model view, where you create models for your analysis. Do you understand that? I want to confirm if you understood what I just said.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So And this
Yes,
area
sir.
in the Power BI is called the canvas. So let me just share my Power BI screen. Can you see my Power BI application? Please confirm if you can see the Power BI application.
No.
Oh, what is happening
We are not seeing
Not
it.
showing.
this is serious. Uh, I'm not sure what is happening with my network.
Okay. It's
I'll
coming
stop
now.
sharing and share again. I'll stop sharing and share again. I think it's taking more time.
We can see it now.
Okay, great, great. So in this left side of your Power BI, you have about four views. You have the report view, which is the view I am on. You have the table view, or sometimes called the data view. You have the model view, and you have the DAX query view, right? The DAX query view was introduced this year. As of 2021, the view that Power BI had is just three. Then this area is called the canvas. This is where you create your visualization. Then also we have this pen, we call it the filter pen. Then this pen is the visualization pen, and we have the data pen. I'm going to explain each one of them. Okay, so let me go back to the presentation. So you have the filter pen, the visualization pen, and the data pen. So today we'll be working with a data set from Worldwide Importer. So Worldwide Importer is an a company that sells products across the world, right? And let's think together. What kind of data do you think this company will keep? I want a response from everybody. What kind of data do you think they will keep? You can drop your answer in the chat function, or you could unmute and speak.
They will, hello, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
They will keep customer data,
Yeah, customer
data
record,
and sales record.
sales record makes sense.
I think that's the two I can do.
Okay, you've tried. So basically, for those guys, they keep their fact sales, their customer record, employee record, and a number of things, right? So let's get started and work with this data set. We did their data and use it to learn Power BI. These are part of the things you did last week. I'm doing a recap to be sure that we're on the same page. So if you have downloaded your resource, you're going to see exercise and data introduction to Power BI. So if you have downloaded it, what you need to do is to open the exercise, which is the first one, which is loading, 1_loading. Please confirm you can see my screen and you're seeing me loading a new Power BI.
So, yeah. Source power, yes.
Okay, great. So it will be great that you're seeing my screen. Hello, Uche. How are you? You joined the class late.
Good morning. I didn't get network at all. I just got network.
It's okay. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm waiting for my Power BI to load. So let me load my Power BI. Sorry about that. While I wait for Power BI to load, let me just explain what we'll be doing. So the first thing we're looking at is, so the way this course is created is to help you to go through step by step on how to achieve a number of things. So if you look at this, if you look at our you'll see their step by step instructions. If you follow it, you'll be able to achieve the same thing we are achieving as your tutors. So let me go. Okay, my Power BI is open now. I'm going to go to open. I'm going to browse this device, and I have my data somewhere. Okay, I know where I have my introduction to Power BI. I'm going on the exercise and I'm loading this. Can you see that it's loading?
Yes, you can.
Okay, great. So the first instruction says we should load the first instruction says we should open the report loading underscore one. Then once the report is open, make sure you are viewing sales data page. So look at this. The sales data page is loading. Good. We have a sales data page, right? Before we go into working with this, I want us to look at the table view. So anytime you're analyzing any data, the first thing you want to look at is the entire data. What is in this data? You want to look at every column title. That gives you an idea of what that business is doing. So look at this data. I have sales key, city key, customer key, blah blah blah, and I have invoice date key, delivery date, salesperson key, invoice ID. I have description, I have package, I have quantity, I have unit price, tax rate, tax including tax amount, profit, tax including tax, total dry item, total chilled item, and leakage key. Now, with what I'm seeing in this data set, is this business an online business or they have a store? What do you think? Are they running online completely or they have a physical store?
They have a physical store.
Why do you think they have a physical store?
From the view, I think they are running a physical store with having a customer, having products, having sales. That shows they have a
Okay, thank you, Uche. We'll have a contrary opinion. Babalola, what do you think? Are they running completely online or they have a
Yes,
physical?
can you open can you show the thing? Because I didn't see all the data you were showing.
Okay, let me go back to it again. So I'm going to go to the table view. So these guys, from their fat sales data, they have invoice ID, delivery date, salesperson key, invoice, description, package, quantity, unit price, tax, and all of those things. So do you think they are running completely online, or they have a physical, or they are running offline, or they are doing hybrid?
I think it might be both hybrid
Why do you
because they
think it's
are
hybrid?
collecting invoices for orders, and they have customer data, salesperson data, and other things. I think delivery address also, delivery dates also. So it should be a mix of both.
Okay. We'll find out who is right as we analyze this data further. So let me get back to what we'll be doing further. So the next thing is you can enlarge your Power BI interface by clicking on the full screen button. So on your Power BI, you have the full screen function somewhere around here, right? If I click on full screen, it can give me that full screen experience, but these are minor things. I mean, has nothing to do with the analytics itself, right? Then Power BI equally has the mobile view, but that is not really what we want to look at, right? But it's just to show you how to navigate different parts of the Power BI. And on the Power BI, you can make the canvas area big by expanding or collapsing. So if I collapse this place, what happens? The canvas area becomes bigger, and when I expand this place, the canvas area becomes smaller, right? These are not so technical thing, right? Because you already have a visualization created. We're still going to get into creating it ourselves. Then the next thing is, okay, from the data you have, what is the profit of this company? What do you think their profit is from what you have here? What do you think their profit is? I'm waiting for response. What's their profit?
It should be the one of it should be the one of the 9.9923.
Is it 9923 or 9.92 million?
9.92
I can't really see it very well.
Are you using a phone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please, subsequent class, let's try to join with our laptop. Okay, great. So I believe everybody got that. So let's get into
Yes, the screen. Sorry.
go on. I'm with you.
Hello. Sorry, the screen. The screen is not too clear. I think it should be from your end.
Really? Are you using a phone or a laptop?
Yeah.
A phone.
I've gotten a laptop. I'm using a laptop.
Okay.
A laptop.
Let me
It's not
stop
clear at
sharing.
all.
Let me stop.
But I can see.
It's
Stop
clear.
and maybe you should reshare.
Okay. Let me stop sharing.
From my end, I can see clearly from what I've opened. About 9,923,891,000.70. But from what you are sharing, I can't
It's
be
okay
able.
now. It's okay now. It's okay now.
It's clear now. It's clear.
Okay,
Okay,
great.
let me come in again. I'll log out and come in.
No, you don't need to log out. Just okay, if that one works for you. Okay, so let's go on to create our first visualization. So we'll be working on visualizing a number of things for this WWI company. So the first thing is in the exercise, you have your has been loaded already, and you have a bar chart with the quantity of items sold by wide world importer. This makes it more meaningful if we segment the graph into years. So it's loading another data file that contains this information. Note that you can undo. Okay, so now let's get into what we want to do. So the first thing is we want to delete this visualization that has been created for us. So we just click on the delete page, we delete this page. We want to work ourselves, right? Then I have the page one. This page shows me the quantity of the product, right? Then the next instruction I have here is, after deleting that, I've deleted that, right? So the next thing is to use the get data button to get the CSV file that shows the dim date. Now, let me explain this. In an organization, the way data are collected, if you remember my first class, I talked about data flow. The way data are collected, usually data are collected by different departments, right? Those guys in sales collect their data. Those guys in production will collect their own data. The guys in finance have their own data. Everybody has the way they collect their data. But however, those data comes to you as an analyst, right? But you must find a way of now merging those data together in Power BI. The tool for merging data together or making data to communicate with each other is the model view. I'm going to get into that shortly, but let's just follow this instruction and get started. So the first thing is to use the get data button, select text CSV from the list, and load dim date. So I'm going to go to my Power BI. Going to, on my Power BI, on the home page, I'm going to click on get data. Then since the data type I want to get is in text or CSV, I'm going to click on that. All right. I'm going to my data set, and it's inside this WWI, and I'm going to pick the dim date. So once I pick the dim date, the data starts loading. Okay. And once it's done loading, what I'm going to do is to click on the load button. I hope you all saw that. You saw the you're seeing the experience I'm having, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So the moment I load that data,
Yes.
what did you
Yes.
notice at the data pane? What did you notice at the data pane?
We have the VAT sales data displayed.
You have the dim data I just brought in, and you also have the fat sales. Is that what you saw?
Yes, 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 yes.
Great. So we've carried out the first instruction. This is so simple, right? So the next thing we do is, in our view model, in our model view, we'll create a relationship between fat sales invoice and dim dates. So this is how to do it. I want to create a relationship between these data. So let me go to my data table. On my data table, for my dim dates, I can see different dates, But when I get to my model view, there is no relationship between my fat sales and my dim dates. And I have to create a model that makes them relate and communicate with each other so that I can analyze that data. So let me go back to our instruction. I'm intentionally flipping between Power BI and instruction so that when you're on your own, it's easy for you to carry it out. So in the model view, create a relationship between fat sales invoice data key and your dim dates. And how do you do that? You create a relationship by dragging the invoice date key from the fat sales table on top of the dates field in the dim table. So if I go to my Power BI, my invoice date key is here. While I have here, I have my date table, right? I want to confirm the instruction again. I'm going to drag the invoice date key from fat sales and I'm going to drop it on date. So let me do that. So the simple drag is just like if you want to drag something, you just drag with your mouse, you carry it, and you ensure that you drop it on it. The moment you do that, it will bring up, it will pop this up. Just click on save. Once you click on save, it creates a relationship. Okay. If I move this, you're going to see that there's a relationship between this data. So what it means is I can now use resource from each table to create my visualization. Please, do you understand what I've done so far?
Please, can you take it again?
Okay. I'm going to delete that relationship now. So let me make it simple. For a man and a wife to have a child, they must have a relationship, right? So usually the child takes up some things from the mother and some things from the father to become a whole child, right? So you see some traits from the father and some traits from the mother reflecting in that child. So in the case of analyzing data, now if I'm analyzing this data, fat sales, right? I want to see, look at this. From my fat sales, I can see the quantity of products sold by this company. But that is not enough. Am I right? I want to know how much they are making or how much they are selling per month. If I come to you and tell you, oh, throughout this year, we sold 10 million products, that sounds good, but if you want to go deeper, you want to say, okay, how many products did you sell in January, in February, in March, in April, up to the end of the year? Then that is more meaningful, and you can take better actions to look at, okay, why do we have low sales this month and we have high sales in the following month, right? So this is what we're going to do. So I want to create a relationship between the fat sales. The fat sales provide us data about the sales. So let's assume the fat sales was from the sales department. While we have the dim date, which is data that shows the date and the calendar of operations throughout the year, right? So what I want to do is to marry the fat sales to the dim date. But the particular thing I want to marry them on, because there have to be similarities, is the date invoice key, and I'll marry the date invoice key with the date. So I'm going back to my instruction. The instruction says create a relationship by dragging the invoice date key from fat sales table on top of the date field. So I'm going back to my Power BI. I'm going to click on invoice date key. I'm going to drag it. Once you drag it, how to drag with your mouse, just like if you want to drag anything on your computer. Once I get to the date key, I'll just drop it. Once I drop that thing I dragged, it's going to show me this pop-up. Then I'm just going to click on save. Once I click on save, the marriage is done. Is that clear now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you for your response. So the next thing is, I already have a bar chart on my report view, but I want to show the calendar year. So what I'm going to do is to select that bar chart, then select the calendar year. So I'll go back to my report view. I have my bar chart here, right? Then my calendar year is under my dim date. So I can, instead of me looking for it, I can simply search for it here. Once I search calendar, it will bring it for me. So I'm adding calendar year to that data set. So what happened? Once I added it, what happened? It's showing me sales in 2015. It's showing me quantity of sales in 2014, quantity of sales in 2013, and quantity of sales in 2016. Okay, does that make sense?
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Go ahead.
The calendar year, if we observe very well in the report, you can see that it's not in chronological order.
Okay, there was a mistake. I picked calendar label instead of calendar year. I'm supposed to pick calendar year. I picked calendar label. Let me go back to the instruction. I want to be sure that I'm on the right. I'm doing the right thing. So make sure that calendar year, use calendar year instead of calendar label. Okay. So I have two things here. I have calendar label and I have calendar year. So I have my calendar year. Then for the calendar, let me go back to some. Good. So my calendar has to be in the x-axis. When I added it, my calendar went to the y-axis. Okay. So I'm going to add it again. So this is my quantity of items sold. I want to know the quantity of items sold per year. So I can simply drag my calendar year from that data pen, and I can drag it to the y-axis on the visualization. Once I did that, it shows me sales in 2013, sales in 2014, sales in 2015, and sales in 2016. What do you think is happening to this company? Did you get what I just did?
Yes, I understand.
Okay.
Oh, I understand. Yeah.
I didn't get anything.
Who didn't get it?
I didn't get it.
Okay, I'm going to come again, Kanye. So let's go back to our instruction. I think I'm a bit fast, and I'm a bit faster than the instruction. So I'm going to remove what I've done. So we have quantity of items sold. For our visualization, we want to see the quantity of items sold over the years that this business has operated. So this business has operated for about 4 years. And if I come to you and say, oh, the total sales since this business, total quantity of sales since this business started was over 1 million quantity of sold goods, it won't make so much sense if I don't break it down to years for you. Then I come here and I say, okay, the instruction says, select the existing bar chart. So what does it mean to select the existing bar chart? I just click on it. If I click on the existing bar chart, I've selected it. And the next instruction it gave me is to then select calendar year from the dim date in the data pen. So this is my data pen and this is calendar year. I click on it. Now, once I click on it, it gave me this visualization, but this is not what I want, right? If we go to the next instruction, the next instruction says, in the visualization pane below, the visualization icon, you may need to scroll down to see the value feed. So in the visualization pane, this is a visualization pane. If you scroll, you're going to see the value feed. You realize that there's a x-axis and there's a y-axis, right?
Yes.
Did you see that?
Yes, this is what I
Yes,
got
sir.
first time I did it.
Okay, great. So this is what you're now going to do. So the next instruction is, in the visualization pen, drag calendar year to X axis
X rather than Y.
other than Y. So you're just going to come here, you're going to click on it, drag it, and drop it into X axis. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
Good. So once I drag it into X axis, you notice that my visualization now makes sense.
Yes, yes, yes.
So now, what do you think about these complaint sales in the last 5 years, in the last 4 years since they started operating? So based on the results of the visualization, which statement is true?
That.
I need response. The quantity of items sold per year has decreased every year. Is that true? True or false?
The first
False.
statement is
You
false.
didn't
The first statement is
increase.
correct.
Which of the statement is correct? The quantity of items sold per year has increased.
Has only increased from 2013 to 2015.
Yeah, good. So that's brilliant. So the items sold per year have only increased from 2013 to 2016. However,
2015.
we need to discover why sales drop in 2016. I mean, sales drop even lower than when they started in 2013. So is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Very bad.
Very bad. So
Definitely bad.
Terrible.
very bad. So that's your work as an analyst. You will see things that is happening and you're able to visualize it so that whosoever is going to make decision, if the sales manager sees this visualization, it will be shocking to the person and say, wow, we're not making good sales. So we're going to analyze this data further, because we can't just conclude that this is bad, but we need to know why sales drop. And that's what we're going to do further as we analyze this data. So the next thing we want to do is to create a new visualization called the card visualization. So if we come to the visualization pen, I want us to do this together. I want you to be able to memorize where you can find each visuals that you'll be using. So I'm going to hold my mouse on each one. You're going to call out what you are seeing. On the first one, what did you see?
Line chart. No, stack bar chart.
Stack bar chart. Brilliant. The next one.
Stack column chart.
Thank you. There's only one person in class. The next one.
Oh, I hear. Cluster bar chart.
Good. The next one.
Cluster column chart.
The good thing about mentioning this thing together is it will help you to remember. I tell you the truth, it will help you to remember. It might look as if, is this guy treating us like primary school students? You want us to be repeating what he's showing us, but it helps a lot. It helps a lot. Okay, the next one is what?
100%.
Brilliant. The next one is what?
100%.
Good. The next one is what?
Line chart.
Brilliant. The next one is what?
Area chart.
Area chart. Great. The next one is what?
Stack
area
chart.
Good. The next one?
100% stack.
100% area chart.
Good. The next one?
Line and stack column chart.
Thank you. The next one?
Line and
stack column chart.
Good. The next one?
Ribbon chart.
Ribbon chart. The next one?
Waterfall chart.
Waterfall chart. The next one? Funnel. Great. The next one? Scatter chart. The next one?
Pie
chart.
The next one?
Donut chart.
The next one?
Tree map.
Brilliant. The next one?
Map.
Map.
Map. The next one,
Field map.
field map. The next one, Azure map.
Azure map.
Azure map.
Okay, the next one,
No.
Card.
Gauge.
Card.
gauge. The next one,
Card.
Card.
followed by
Multi-row card.
Multi-row card.
multiple row card. Then what?
KPI.
KPI.
Brilliant. The next one,
Slicer.
Slider.
the next one,
Table.
table. The next one,
Matrix.
metrics. Then what?
R strip.
R visual.
Brilliant. The next one,
Python visual.
Python visual.
Python.
the next one,
Key
Key
influencers.
influencers.
the next one.
Decomposition.
Decomposition tree.
Brilliant. The next one,
QR.
Q&A.
the next one.
Narrative.
Narrate.
Brilliant. The next one,
Goal.
Goals.
the
Preview.
next one. Paginated report.
Automated report.
The next one,
Card.
Card.
card
New.
new. The next one,
Slicer.
Slicer.
slicer new. The next one, ArcGIS for Power BI.
Agric for Power BI.
The next one,
Power.
Power BI.
Power BI.
the next one.
Automated
Power
report.
BI.
Everybody clap for yourself. I can't hear your clap. Okay.
Serious.
Great. You have done well. Now, the reason why I went through that is once you're working with these documents, because you're learning this skill for the first time. If it's telling you to go to a card visual, the first thing is you don't know, oh, which one is card visual. It's simple. Just be hovering over each one until you find the one you're looking for. As you practice, you'll discover that you'll be able to memorize all the visual. So the next thing we want to look at is we've seen the quantity of items sold over the years, and we discovered that there is trouble with this business because by 2016 their sales dropped drastically, and it is bad for business, right? So the next thing we want to look at is to create a card. So the next thing is, okay, we want to add some more details to the report. We already found the quantity of items sold per year. Now we want to know more about the profit made over the years. So a card is a great choice because it's simple and adds some elegant interactivity. In the report view, deselect all visual you selected by clicking on the blank area in the canvas. So currently, if I have this selected and I click on anything, it's going to mess up my report. You saw that, right? So I'm going to undo. So I must make sure that before I create a new visualization, I've deselected it by just clicking on any area within the canvas. Don't double click. If you double click, it will just add something for you. So after I've deselected, the next instruction asks me to do what? Are we on the same page? To do what? Select profit field from the FAT sales, and a bar chart will be created. So I'm going to go to, from the FAT sales, I'm going to go to look for profit. I can either look for it and click the profit, or I search here so that I have what I'm looking for at once. So once I click on profit, what happened? It provided a bar chart for me, but this is not what I want to see. There's a better way to show this without showing a bar chart to me, right? I want to see the profit that the business has made over the years, right? So, and I can move my visualization by just clicking and moving this visualization. So the next instruction says I should do what? It says a bar chart will be generated. Take note that you can use the search function. Okay, I've talked about that. So one thing I want to do is to change the bar chart from that to a card visualization, and it's simple. So I'll make sure that this is selected. I click on my card visualization. What did you notice the moment I click on my card visualization? It changes that bar chart to a card. Is that understood?
Yes.
Okay, great. So then the interaction that Power BI gives me is, if I want to know the profit the business made in 2014, if I click on it, what did you notice?
The figure changes.
The card
number
changed and
changed.
showed me profit for 2014. So profit for 2015 was 3.1. Why 2016 profit dropped to what? $1.2 million. Then if I click on the entire bar chart, it's going to show me my profit. Now, we've discovered that over the years, profits have been declining. No, from 2015 to 2016, the profit of that business has done what? Has declined, right? So we're done with this part of it, adding card. So the next thing is to look at other functions, other visuals that can be created in Power BI. One of such is slicer and table. What are slicers? What are tables? So we have the field quantity and the profits in our report. It will be interesting to analyze each worldwide importer salesperson contribution to the quantity of items sold. Now, we're analyzing this data. We've looked at the items sold over the years, and we have realized that by 2016, something happened in that business. And what happened? There was a decline in sales. We want to fish out what could have caused the decline in sales. We also visualize our profit to see that, okay, we want to know the profit in this business across the years that this business has been in operation. And if we go to 2014, we'll see the profit, and we realize that by 2016, profit has declined so much to about $1.2 million, right? So the next thing I want to do is I want to see the contribution of each salesperson, because when you have a drop in sales, what is the next place you want to check? You want to check with the sales team. What is the performance of the sales team, or what is the contribution of each salesperson to the sales, so that we know the sales people or the persons that are not doing well. Then the business can make a decision based on that. Does that make sense? Does that make
Yes, sir.
sense?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, so for us to do that, we have to now load the DIM employee data. Where do you have your employee data? Which department keeps employee data? In a business, which department keeps employee data?
That's
HR.
the HR.
Good, brilliant. The HR department keeps employee data. So it's simple. The analyst will just request from the employee, from the HR department, I need the data of the salespeople. I want to match their names with the sales they were able to generate. So in your Power BI, you want to bring in that data. So let's assume the HR has provided you with that data. So the data type is, they gave you that data type in Excel format, right? What determines the kind of data you want to get is the format, right? If you look at from the this thing we gave you, you realize that there are different data formats. If you look at the data type, there are some that comes as comma separated value, which is CSV, and you have one that comes as Excel sheet, and that is the one we want to work with. So once I click on get data, I'm going to use the actual one that works for what I need. So I'm going to click on the Excel worksheet, sheet, then I'm going to pick my dim employee. So the data is going to come into my Power BI. I'm connecting that data right into my Power BI. Then after I have that data, so this data is showing me the employee key, the employee ID, which is the usual thing in every business anyway. You have employee ID, the name of the employee, the preferred name of the employee, the salesperson number, the valid form, blah blah blah, all of those things. So I'm just going to click on load. So what happens? It loads that data into my Power BI. So if I come back to my data pane, what did you notice? I have my dim employee right here in my data pane. Does that make sense so far?
Yes, sir.
Good. So the next thing I want to do is, after I brought it, I need to create a relationship between my fact salesperson key and my dim employee key. So this is the way it works. I'm going to my model. There's no way I can analyze sales with employee without connecting them, right? The instruction now told me to connect them, to connect salesperson key, which is in the fact sales, to employee key, which is in the dim employee. So I'll look for my salesperson key, and I'm going to drag it and drop it on my employee key. Then it's going to pop up this, and I'm going to click on save. Is that clear to everybody? Did you get what I just did?
Yes, sir. Very good.
You can take that part again.
I should take that part again.
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm going to delete the connection I did. So I'm going to go back to the instruction. My goal is to see the impact of every salesperson on the sales made. So I need to create a connection between my fact sales, that my sales record, and the record I got from the HR department. So in my fact sales, I have salesperson key, and in my dim employee, I have employer key. So what I'm going to do is to now connect, to build a relationship between fact sales and the dim employee. So to do that is, I'm going to drag the salesperson key, drag it and drop it on employee key. Once I do that, it creates a relationship between them. Then I can now analyze my data in based on the idea I'm trying to project. Is that clear now?
Yes, thank you.
Good. So, and I'm going to go back to my report view. So the next thing is, I want to now show a visualization that shows the sales of the sales volume of each person. So let's go to our step-by-step instruction. It says in my visualization, add a slicer. So I'm going to go to my Power BI. I'll make sure that none of the visualization I've created before is clicked. Now I'm going to come here and look for my slicer. I'm very familiar with Power BI, so it's easy for me to know that this is the slicer, right? There's a difference between slicer and slicer new. So pick slicer. So once I pick my slicer, it brings out this visualization for me, right? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Good. So then the next thing is, I want to add my employee field to the slicer. So how do I add my employee field to the slicer? I'll make sure that this slicer is selected, and I'm going to come under dim employee and click on employee. So what did you notice? It brings out the details of all the employees. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Good. So the next thing I want to do is I want to show it in a more nice way. So I'm going to change the slicer format by going to the format section in my visualization pane. This is the format section. In your visualization pane, you have build visualization, you have format your visualization, and you have add further analysis to your visualization. So I'm going to the format your visualization, and I'm going to go to slicer settings. Instead of having it as a vertical list, I'm going to change it to a drop down. Does that make sense? Is that clear to all?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Let me repeat it again. Let me repeat the step. I'm going to take you back to where it used to be. After I created my employee, it's showing me all the employee, all the sales guys in the company, right? Then I want to make it neat. I don't want to see this list this way. I go to my format, and I go to my slicer settings, and I go to drop down. And once I get to drop down, I have this. So the next instruction is using the slicer, you have just added how much profits did the salesperson Ta Shand generated in 2014. So from my employee this thing, if I click and look for Tanjan, so I've picked that employee, which is Tanjan, and I looked at his sales. His profit in 2014 was how much?
495,340,000.
35,035.
By 2015, what was his profit?
27,023.
2016, what was his profit?
34,000.45.
So if I want to analyze further on this guy, I noticed that in 2013, he made almost $300,000. But by the time he got to 2014, he started declining in performance, even though at that point the company was increasing. 2015, it declined further, even though in 2015 the company had the highest volume of sales so far, right? In 2016, it declined drastically. Is it safe to say that most likely the decline in sales of WWI is as a result of some of the salesperson?
I say so.
I'm waiting for a response.
Yes,
So can I ask
sir.
a question again?
Okay, now look at this Tijan guy that we singled out from all the sales guys. If I want to see his profit in 2013, if I click on 2013 on my bar chart, I notice he made 298 profit in 2013, right? But by the time he got to 2014, his profit has started declining. But it was not obvious because the company was still increasing. Abi now?
Yes, sir.
2015, which was the
Yes.
highest peak of that company before the great decline in 2016, this guy profit was declining. Then 2016, it declined drastically. So can we now blame the sales guys for the issues this business is having? That was my question.
It might be a factor, but can you see the fault of one person is why the whole company saw that much decline?
Okay, so let's look at other salespeople. So I can come here. Let me just pick anyone. Let me pick this Eva. Okay, Eva does not even have sales at all. Let me pick Henry. Henry too no get sales. Let me pick Jack. Now look at Jack. Jack in 2013, Jack sales was 217. By 2014, Jack sales has increased. Before it was 217, now it's 218, 228. By 2015, Jack sales has increased to 333. Ba? Then by 2016, Jack sales declined. Now, for me, what do you think is a better employee between this Jack and Shank? Shank sales has been declining since 2013
Even when the company is making the largest sales.
when the company was making large sales. So, as an analyst, if you want to write a recommendation, would you recommend that, okay, someone like Shank, they should fire him?
Yes, they might have to.
They might have to. Who has a contrary opinion? I want the ladies to talk. I want any of the ladies to talk. From the look of thing, we're trying to trace what the issue is, right? I'm trying to trace what the issue is. Let me look at Sofian. Sofian in 2013 was making a profit of 268. By 2014, Sofian had an increase in sales, in profit. By 2015, Sofian had increase. That means Sofian was progressing, right? By 2016, there was a drop in sales of Sofian. But the first person we first checked was having drop from the beginning, even when the business was doing well.
Starch.
Yeah. 2013, 298. 2014, there was a decline. 2015, there was a decline. 2016, there was a decline. Now, it's safe to say that the salespeople are key factor. Abina.
Yes.
So being
Yes.
big key factor, that means we probably might need to downsize. Will it make sense to downsize them or to train them? Is there anybody with HR?
Train them.
Both.
Train them.
Linda, why did you say train them?
I think by training they can improve.
But look at somebody so imagine you own a business, you hire somebody, and from the beginning that you employ the person, there's been declining over the years. Does that person need training or firing? I'm asking Linda.
I'm answering.
I can't hear you.
The person needs training to some extent.
Why do you think the person needs training? Babalola.
Have you seen that? Yeah.
Go on.
To her point, training to some extent, then when you now see that there's no sign of improvement, then you may have to fire them.
Okay, no, I'm not even talking about all of them. I'm not talking about all of them. I'm talking about particularly
just one person.
The Shank guy. In 2013, his sales was 298. The following year, his sales dropped. The year that followed, his sales dropped. The fourth year, his sales dropped. Does that person need training or firing?
Actually, sir,
From a business,
He needs to be fired in training because he does not bring good
It's not consistent.
contribution to the company.
Then, sir, another thing is that does
Business
the
control.
does the does the company have a sales quota for each salesperson for every year? That would have been an easy yardstick.
But you
That
know,
if you
in this
don't meet
case,
up,
we didn't know. We're just evaluating across board. But even if I have sales quota for you and you're meeting up with your sales quota, but I'm seeing declining. I mean, if I told you your sales quota is 200 and you did 300 this year, and the following year you are doing 250, and the following year you are doing 220, I should have issues with you. Even though you are meeting up, but you are meeting up in a declining format. So eventually you are going to go below your sales quota.
as time goes on,
For me, I like what Mojisola said. Such a person, because the declining has happened over years. Such a person, and that comes to the HR department anyway, and say, okay, you've noticed that somebody have been declining in the last 3 years. What have you done to help this person? You get what I'm trying to say? And these are the problems big businesses face. And that is why they all need analysis to help them make meaningful decisions, because the businesses are big. They don't know when they are losing money because of the volume of what they are gaining. I'll give you an example. How many of you know Federal Palace Hotel? It's one of the
yes,
Yeah, I
biggest
think I've heard of it.
Federal
yes,
Palace. They're in Abuja. Last year they recorded, I think, over 30 billion loss. And I asked myself, how can a hotel lose 30 billion? The bottom line is they were making sales in billions, but maybe they were not tracking every other thing to be sure that are we within the right scope. And I tell you the truth, most businesses globally and even in Nigeria, they want to ensure that an analyst is looking into their data so that they don't make mistake in the long run. Okay, so let's get back to work. I hope this is quite interesting, right?
exactly. Very nice.
Yes. But being
So
realistic about it, yes.
yeah. So now let's look at other things that could be a factor for the drop in sales. Now, another thing might be maybe the company policy. So, one of the things that this WWI did in 2016 was to introduce, in fact, before I get to that, you're going to see it. Because I've analyzed this data before, I can talk about it. So, there are two types of products that these people are selling, which is what? The chilled and the dry product. And and this is recorded in the database because the chilled products require different kind of packaging. So that might mean that maybe the company has increased their cost, which is impacting on their profit. To compare this product, you will add quantity of products sold that are chilled or dry to the column chart. So it now says select total dry item and total chilled item in the field pan. So let me go back to my visualization. Now, this company is selling two types of product: chilled product and dry product. And we all know once you're selling a chilled product, let's say you're selling ice cream, if you have to, or frozen chicken or frozen food, if you have to transport it, you must transport with what? With a what they used to call that truck that has freezer inside.
Is it cold truck or what?
Yeah, cold truck. I don't know what they call it. So the cost of using a cold truck, and if you are transporting a dry product, you can just use tipper trailer to carry it now. And the costs for each one are different. So this time around, I'm going to change this to all. I'm going to unselect this, but I want to see the volume of sales for cold for dry and chilled product. So I'm going to look at this, and so I'm going to select the total dry item and the chilled item. So from my fat sales, I'm going to add that. So I have the instruction asked me to add which one first. Dry item, and so what do you notice from this visualization? The orange
Shape.
color,
Okay.
the orange color shows chilled item. The purple color shows dry item. So it means they only started their chilled product when?
2016.
2016.
2016.
And which was the year they had poor sales, right?
2016, yes.
So could that also be a factor? And why do you think it might be a factor?
Okay, I guess it might not happen in this season to be selling chilled or cold products.
Yeah, it's true.
People were not really requesting for chilled products.
But they sold.
Wasn't a high demand for.
They sold.
Wasn't a high demand for these products.
They sold 14,000 items. Okay, who has a contrary opinion? Now, think about it this way. For the last 3 years, we've only sold dry products. So maybe what we're selling is rice, is dry. We're selling beans. I'm just using that as an example. We're selling products that we don't need to put inside freezer.
Okay.
So what it means is we can't have spoilage since it's dry products. If there's no light, we can still move our goods, right? Then 2016 they now introduced a new product line of selling chilled products. Let's assume they start selling ice cream, frozen chicken, blah blah blah, all of those things. Now all those products has a shelf life because they are frozen products. If there is no light, I'm just using Nigeria as an example. If there is no light, what will happen to those products?
They'll go
Spoil.
There will be spoilage, and that will impact on what? On profit. Then maybe the sales guys are new to selling chilled products, so they can't really push the sales so well, right? So I'm asking again, do we think this business diversifying into selling chilled products is a win or a loss for them?
It's a law, very clearly. It's a law.
I want a lady to talk. Success or Kehinde? Hello? Or Mojisola or Linda?
Sorry, my network is really bad. I'm not able to follow.
Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. Mojisola, are you able to follow?
Yes, sir.
So, what do you think about this company started selling chilled products in 2016, which drastically impacted on their sales? Is it a win or a miss?
I didn't get your question, sir.
Okay, this company started selling chilled products in 2016. And the moment they started doing that, their sales dropped drastically, right? So could we say them diversifying into selling chilled products is a factor to their drop in sales?
Yes, sir, because by 2016, that the time that they started the chill product, that's when their sales started dropping. I can say that is because of the product.
Okay, okay. So you agree it's not their village people, it's their decision making process. Okay, great. So let's move on. Now that we have created, I've shown you how to create slicer. I've shown you how to create bar chart and card. So the next thing is we want to add more details to this transaction by creating a table. So let's add a table to our report with the details of sales transaction within an interactiveness of Power BI. This will allow us to see examples of sales based on our selection. Deselect any selected visuals and add a table. So the first thing we're doing is we make sure that none of our visuals are selected. Then we add the table visual. So we have the table visual added. Then on our table visual, we are to add dim field employee, then also add description, quantity, total including tax and profit. So from my employee data, I'm going to add employee. I'm going to add description from fat sales. Description is also asking me to add quantity. That's the quantity of items sold. Quantity. I can expand this so that it can show me all my details. After quantity, they also ask me to add the total including tax. So I can search for it here. Total including tax. And I'm also asked to add profit. So this table shows me the performance of the business so far and the impact of each sales person. So if I come, is this clear, everybody? Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Okay, great. So another thing I could equally add is to add a text to my report. So there's a text function, the text box here, right? So the instruction says, let's look at it together. Add a text box to clearly title the report as sales data and arrange the report in your liking. A text box can be added in the top menu under home. So this is home, and if I look at the top menu, I'm going to see text box. So this is a text box. I can add the text box and I can put a name, sales data. I can increase the font size just like I would do on Microsoft Word. I can put it in the center. I can give it color. Let me give it a blue color. I can give it color. Then I have my sales. I have my sales data. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Then I can equally change the name of the page tab that contains the same title. So in my tab where I have page 1, here where I have page 1, I can just Right click and click on rename and call it sales data. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Does it make sense?
Yes, we're just designing the data at this point. Designing and visualizing the data.
No, I didn't get that. What did you say?
I said we're just playing around with design right now.
Yes, just to put aesthetics. We already carry out the
Yeah.
visualization, but we're just putting other things to make it look professional.
Bad.
Yeah. So it now says using the role table, how much total including tax did Sofian Hilton generate in 2016? So what I'm going to do is to come here and search for Sofian. I pick Sofian, right? I want to know the total including tax of Sofian in 2016. So the total including tax for Sofian is about 309. 309,004. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're following, yes. If you're able to follow, yes.
So so far, how many of you are able to practice what I'm doing on your computer?
I'm doing it.
That's Adedayo, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Are you able to share it?
Yes, I can share.
Okay, go ahead and share your screen. I'll stop sharing my screen. I want to see what you have.
You see that, sir?
It's coming up. Oh, great. 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 You have what I have. But you've not added the text box.
Yes.
Okay. Brilliant. You can go ahead and do that. Who else has done it on our own screen? Any of the ladies in the house that have done it? Hello, any of the ladies?
No, I didn't do it.
Why,
I'm
Lydia?
just following you.
Oh,
I'm just following. If I have to do it, I will miss out what you are teaching. I can't do both.
no, I could have waited. I could have waited for you now and ensure that you're following me.
I will miss out. That's why I didn't do it.
Okay.
But I will work with the video. I will check the video and I'll work with it later.
Okay. This is what I'm
Maybe
going to
tomorrow
do.
when. Okay.
So this is what I'm going to do. Now, if you look at the way I've taught you so far, I showed you what to do step by step. Right?
Yes, sir.
I want to be a bit patient with your class. And I don't want to rush things. Do you understand me? So,
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
instead of getting into DAX today, I want to make sure that everybody is on the same page with me on Power BI. Do you understand me? So,
Yes, it makes sense.
because of that, I'm going to end this class early today. I'll take your class again next week. Right? I have my reasons. From the feedback I'm getting from everybody in this class, I think I need to give this class a special attention. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to end this class early today. Then I'm going to give you an assignment. You are going to try Let me see. I'm not sure we'll be able to do data transformation. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Try your hand on data transformation, but I'm not expecting so much from you. Not that not as a form of ridiculing, right? But I'm not expecting you to get it all the way. But if you do, I'll be very happy. So from page 29, try your hand on those instructions from page 29 up to page 50. So I'm going to put it on your WhatsApp group. Assignment page 39 to 50. Try it out and see if you will get it. However, what I've done with you in class, I want everybody to do it on their computer, take a screenshot of it, and send it on the WhatsApp group before Monday. Is that possible? Dayo son has already done his own. So I've seen his own, but I can still take a screenshot and post it on the group. Mojisola. I'm going to